Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Reading Little Blue Books Out Loud. This right here is a Little Blue Book. It just happens to be Little Blue Book number 1748, and it is titled Scientific Crime Detection, written by C. Samuel Campbell. And there's no copyright date, but we did discover in part 2 that it referenced an article written in 1930. So this was written after that article, so 1931-ish. And this is part 3, and probably the end of it. Yeah, pretty much going to be the end of this book. So, here we go. Where'd we leave off? Alright, trying to figure that out. Okay, here we go. New chapter, Blacklight. In scientific crime detection, the ultraviolet rays are known as blacklight. A quartz mercury vapor arc. Wait, let me read that. Reread that. A quartz mercury vapor arc is used for the production of these rays, and a filter of nickel oxide glass absorbs the visible rays so that the radiation passing through this screen is composed entirely of the ultraviolet rays. Due to the very dark red-violet color of this glass green, turning the page, these pages are often difficult to get apart, of this glass green, which gives it a black appearance. Ultraviolet rays have come to be called blacklight. The invaluable use to which the ultraviolet light has been put in the investigation of crime lies in the fact that these invisible rays have the property of causing materials of a different chemical and physical makeup to fluoresce or become luminous with different colored lights. In this way, unknown substances are caused to betray themselves and even betray their presence at times when their presence is unsuspected. Because it is practically impossible to get the genuine paper on which to print or engrave a counterfeit bill or stamp, the difference in their respective Florences under the black light will distinguish the authentic from the spurious. But that was a tough word to say. Due particularly to the value laid on stamps by stamp collectors, cancellation marks are often washed out by criminals. When these stamps are placed under the lamp, however, traces of their erased marks immediately become visible. The ultraviolet rays also have their place in the detection of art forgery. In duplicated pieces of art, for instance, old marble and ivory can be differentiated from the new material which has been used, as each substance has its own characteristic fluorescence. There it is. God, fluorescence. Why couldn't I read it the first time? It's crazy. No, it's the weed. The substitution of an imitation for the claimed material can also be distinguished. Genuine and cultured pearls, being of the same substance, naturally fluoresce alike, but they can be distinguished from the cheap artificial ones. Diamonds, though they vary markedly in the reaction to the rays, can nevertheless be told from the paste imitations. Criminal attempts to alter documents, wills, and deeds cannot escape the blacklight. Erasures immediately become apparent under it, and the erased figures, letters, words, or clauses are often rendered decipherable. Either they may stand out with their own particular fluorescence or be conspicuous by their lack of it on the luminous sheet of paper. Sometimes the paper must be turned over and under the rays the writing read from the back of the sheet. As other times the erased writing may not be legible, but there is always the evidence of the eraser. That brain cell that's in control of pronunciation is apparently slacking. The Aniline, Aniline, aniline inks can be erased by the mere lick of the tongue, and in these cases, chemical restoration, as is possible with other inks, cannot be accomplished. But under the blacklight, the residue of many of them fluoresce in a striking fashion. Different makes of paper, having their different basic materials and different sizing compositions, will also fluoresce in varying shades. Even sheets of paper in the same make, due to age and use, may fluoresce somewhat differently. Thus, through the use of the ultraviolet rays, a page substituted in a document may be proven false. A wax seal, which has been removed with the heated thin blade of a knife and replaced with a binder of wax in the same color, can turning to the page, can often be detected under the lamp. Unless the person has used wax of an identical composition as well as color, the difference in the seal and the added binder will be easily discernible. Secret messages penned between the lines of an otherwise innocent letter with invisible ink stand out temporarily under the blacklight. Undamaged by the rays, the letter may be forwarded to those for whom it was originally intended, upon which may hinge the trapping of the criminal concerned. This is a decided improvement over the old method of treating the suspected letters with the reagents necessary, which brought out the messages permanently, and consequently made any further use of them impossible. The presence of poisons in a suspected substance may be so minute as to make chemical analysis not only impractical, but impossible. Yet, in addition to the separate fluorescence reaction, the rays may be applied to poisons in the spectrum test, for every element has its own characteristic spectrum and can be identified by its color and arrangement of lines. Because fingernail polish fluoresces and the fingernails grow about 1/13 of an inch a week, it is possible to place the hands of a subject under the rays and determine approximately the date that the subject received his or her last manicure. Teeth, if genuine, light up brilliantly, but artificial teeth have a dead chocolate color under the black light. Race may be determined from the fluorescence of teeth. Those of the Negro race give off a red color, the Caucasian green, and the Asiatic yellow. Bloodstains in clothing washed repeatedly until they are absolutely invisible to the naked eye suddenly stand out as black spots under the ultraviolet rays. Other stains, too, respond to this test. In suspected rape, the undergarments of the victim and the suspect may be placed under the black light. Areas stained with dried seminal fluid, seminal fluid will give off a peculiar bluish fluorescence. I don't know why I had trouble with that word. That's crazy. Seminal fluid. It's crazy. Anyhow, once located, these stains may be examined by other tests for the presence of spermatozoa. Okay. As there may be certain details under the rays which still remain invisible to the human eye. A photograph may quite often reveal them. Hence, no blacklight test is really complete without the checkup of the camera. The foregoing uses for which the ultraviolet rays have been put are representative of their value to criminology. The very basic principle which makes their extensive use possible is sufficient to illustrate the practically limitless ends to which their application to crime detection may be put. Final chapter, I'm guessing, because it's titled Conclusion. Conclusion. From the contents of this short work on modern criminological methods, the reader may have been able to acquire a comprehensive appreciation of what does happen when science applies itself to the detection and investigation of crime. The outcome of the struggle between the turning of the page criminal and society, however, depends on more than the mere application of scientific principles to crime detection. Colonel Calvin Goddard, director of the Scientific Crime Detection Laboratory of Northwestern University, said, "No doubt there are some cities in these fair United States where the laboratory might safely be incorporated into the city government. Unfortunately, I am unacquainted with them. When we keep politics out of our entire police and penal system, as Colonel Goddard has done in his laboratory, when we elevate their intellectual level, when we apply scientific principles to our economic system, to a rationalization of our moral code, to the principles of human behavior, to the treatment of the very materialistic causes of crime, and to our whole life in general, then we may hope to achieve in our treatment of the whole problem the successes which have been achieved in our crime detection laboratories, successes which are slowly making a reality of those words of Emerson. There is no den in the wide world to hide a rogue. Commit a crime, and the earth is made of glass. Commit a crime, and it seems as if a coat of snow fell on the ground, such as reveals in the woods the track of every partridge and fox and squirrel." And that is the end of book number 1748, Scientific Crime Detection, written by C. Samuel Campbell sometime after 1930. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next Little Blue Book.